What is going on, guys? Top of the morning tier. We're going to be doing a tier list video here for Conor McGregor's fights. We're going to be tiering them, ranking them from C tier to S tier.
Hi.
Chicken burger in the corner over there.
Hi.
My name Jeff, and let's get into the video. I need to do the thing, don't I?
What's that?
I need to do the thing.
Do the thing, Kobe.
So
Here we are.
Kobe and Jackson.
We're S tier.
That was probably the best one of them all.
We had a good fight.
We had a good fight.
We've had a couple.
We've had a couple of scraps, haven't we? Look,
I found one of those videos the other day.
really?
Yeah, of us boxing on
Should we
that.
put it on
No,
the channel?
we should not. We can put one little bit of it on there.
Yeah. What is that when you get added?
Yeah, the 10 seconds.
Conor McGregor versus Dennis C. I was going to say Justin Bieber.
Was that his intro to the UFC?
No.
No?
So the Dennis Seaver fight happened before the Chad Mendes fight. So it went. I think this happened because they couldn't really find him an opponent. Then he was supposed to fight Aldo after this fight, but
right.
he ended up fighting Chad because Aldo pulled out.
There was a point in time when no one wanted to fight Conor McGregor.
Yeah, and he
Which
had to
is
fight
kind of
this
funny
guy.
because now everyone wants to
Yeah,
fight
yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Red panty night when
Yeah.
you're saying to fight me, eh?
Is that a nice drink?
It's all right. I just got one out of the fridge. I actually changed my opinion on these in the last couple of days. I've decided I do like them, and I got a couple more in.
Whoa, lovely.
So
Product of Thailand.
product of Thailand, it is. So against Seaver, Conor basically dominated the whole fight. I'm going to pop this in B. I don't know whether you agree with me there.
I don't know if I've seen the fight, to be honest.
okay.
I probably have,
At
but
some point, you would have.
yeah,
He fucked him up.
there's no recollection of it.
It was a pretty standard Conor fight back then. He just fucked him up, pieced him up on the feet, defended the takedowns, made him scramble, made him weak, made him soft, made him come.
Okay.
Which sucks. But yeah, average B. Probably not on the better side of average. This was an alright one, you know. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. This was a pretty awesome fight back in the day, you know,
Yeah.
thinking about it now.
Went to decision, did it not?
It did.
Yeah.
Conor tearing his ACL in this fight,
Yeah.
in the grappling.
And Max asking if he's okay.
I think Conor did a scream or
Yeah.
something, a squeal.
Keep fighting.
No, keep fighting, mate. Again, probably a B tier fight, pretty stock standard fight. Conor kind of dominated. Had to lean on his wrestling a little bit in this fight. An interesting one. Two now legends of the game fighting when they were a lot younger. B tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Probably
It's going to be tricky to find anything that belongs in C tier.
It is
on this
because
list.
they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
We can chuck it in C.
No, that was a pretty good fight.
It was.
But yeah, in terms of his most entertaining performances, it's definitely not up there. So yeah, I'd agree with that.
Let's pop it in C because this is the only one that's a decision.
That's a good point.
Oh, the Nate fights actually, but this is the only one that wasn't crazy. Let's chuck this one and see. So Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 2. The second time Conor and Dustin fought in Abu Dhabi, I believe. Dustin obviously getting this one. This was Conor's comeback after that Cerrone fight. Everyone kind of thought he was back, but Dustin really changed that. I didn't like this fight at all because I was rooting for Conor.
Set him down, didn't he?
He set him down, knocked him out. First time Conor had ever been finished with strikes, I believe.
It was a good finish too. Wasn't it?
It was
uppercut?
a clean finish. There was a hook.
He hit him
He
up against
leaned
the
into the
fence
hook.
and then he uppercutted him on the way down, I thought.
The combos were insane.
Yeah. Dustin just showing that he aged a lot better.
Activity matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Activity matters.
That's a big thing too, I guess.
I think that this one probably, in my opinion, it was impressive. Didn't think this was going to happen. It was a fiery fight while it lasted. I'm willing to put it in B, towards the top end.
Cool. Let's go
What
with
do you
that.
think?
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with B. What
Let's
else have we got
go
here?
with. No, we'll leave that one. Conor versus Nate 2.
Conor grinding out a decision. Both guys really not aging well throughout the fight. As the fight went on, it got slower, but it did get more
Sloppy.
and more violent.
Oh yeah.
Um,
This has
This-
got to be a up there.
Oh, fuck
This fight was a banger.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen this fight, it is one that you need to go back and watch. And the other thing that I like about this duology of fights,
Duology.
yeah, it's like a trilogy, but it's two.
This
It's the shit
word for
talk
that?
that went on before.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah,
was
the hype.
insane. If we could rate this purely on the hype, this would be number one, in my opinion. I mean, you've got the
I
Khabib
agree,
one
yeah.
up there, but this was something
crazy.
else.
And I want to put it in S tier.
Yeah, I'd agree.
This was an epic fight. Conor coming back, proving that he can be a fucking dog, and getting it done over 5 rounds. So this is an S tier fight. I think we both agree on that. Could have gone either way as well. Moving on, we have Conor McGregor versus Diego Brandao. Another one where you got the finish in the first round. This one was in Ireland, so the crowd was absolutely wicked for this one. Pretty hype. I'd say for hype alone, you've kind of got to put it in A. And the knockout was very flashy. Big fan.
Another one I can't seem to
big fan of
bring to the front of my mind at the moment.
It was a good fight.
Yeah.
Very good fight.
I mean, I would have watched some sort of highlight
sure.
video and lead up to this if I had have known we were doing this list prior to 45 minutes before we did it.
Content at Combat Corner.
Yeah.
Pop it there. Moving on, what one do I want to pick next? We've got Conor McGregor versus Chad Mendes. Look,
the first time Conor had gold strapped around his waist. Sure, it was for the interim title with Jose Aldo pulling out not long prior to this fight, and then Conor having to kind of switch the whole focus of the camp towards facing a wrestler rather than a kickboxer, leg kicker in the form of Jose Aldo.
I think that's the most impressive part about this fight.
Yeah, I'd agree. And he got taken down. He was shown adversity. But didn't it finish in the first round?
Second.
Oh, the very end of the second round though, wasn't it? Yeah. So Conor managing to come back and
I think it was round 2.
Flatline Mendes in the end.
I think this has got to be a S tier or a high A tier.
I'd say high A. We have quite a good few fights to.
I'm going to drop
put
this
in
one
S tier.
down because I don't think this lives up to that,
That's a good point.
So, yeah, A tier, I'm happy with that. Moving on, we've got the return of the Mac, is what they like to call it. The first fight since the fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov, I think that's what Conor calls him. Cowboy Cerrone fight, obviously getting it done very quickly in the first round. Again, I think this is an A tier fight. Didn't last very long, but it was the return of the Mac, and the hype was unmatched.
Like a minute 40.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it was very short. Got him with those elbow strikes. Got that finish early. Showed that he could still live up to it.
He didn't look like he wanted to be in there.
No. And
it was
Cowboy,
like the lights got to him for once.
Absolutely. And yeah, and it wasn't the same Cowboy that we saw, 4 or 5 years ago before this fight, but still a very worthy opponent. And I think that fight goes in at A. So Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez was a
banger.
That was a banger, man. That was probably the best performance in any title fight ever, I'd say.
Yeah, he just picked him apart.
Flawless. Absolutely flawless.
His preparation for that fight must have been insane. Like something through the roof.
Oh yeah.
Like coming off the quickest KO in title fight history against Jose Aldo, then immediately moving up to lightweight and facing Alvarez.
Not quite.
Wasn't it?
There was 2 fights in between.
Was it? Who were they? Oh, the Nate fights. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Sorry. But the Nate fights weren't.
They were at 170.
Yeah, and they weren't for that's why.
It's because he was supposed to fight RDA for the belt right after the Aldo fight. But what happened is he got injured. Nate stepped in last minute, upset the party.
That shows my knowledge, doesn't it?
Nonetheless, I think this has got to be an S tier.
Well,
I was trying not to. S tier because of the moment, the history that was made. The first time in Madison Square Garden, this was history. There was no one who'd ever held a belt simultaneously before.
Yeah, it's debatable whether or not he should have still been holding the featherweight belt, considering he
was out for like
twice
2
at
years.
welterweight. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But
he does whatever he wants.
That's right.
Let's chuck in the Mayweather fight. Boxing. I mean, it was huge.
It was massive,
It was
man.
massive. This was probably the biggest fight ever.
It is the biggest fight ever, according to
Pay-per-view numbers.
pay-per-view numbers and potentially Gate as well, I think.
Yeah. Connor, doing pretty
The
well.
highest grossing fight in history. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. Look, Connor, you did well. You did. I'm talking directly to you now. But Mayweather, obviously being the experienced boxer that he is,
One of the GOATs.
one of the greatest of all time. Another word for GOAT. He schooled him in the end, you know? And I'm willing to put this in like A tier.
Yeah, I was going to
Towards
say
the
A
end.
tier as well.
I mean, it was great.
Like
Great
it
spectacle.
wasn't
but
one of Conor's greatest performances, but when you take into account that he went to a completely different sport and didn't look that out of place, like he put up, debatably more of a fight than some of Floyd Mayweather's other opponents around
landed
that
more
time.
strikes than Canelo Alvarez
That's incredible.
and Manny Pacquiao, I think. So yeah, I think that sits there.
And he had a moment there. I think he landed a pretty decent
Uppercut.
Oh no, he just missed it, didn't he?
There's that video of that
It's
jab
so-
that just like he just
Oh.
goes like,
Yeah, and Floyd just leans back. God, that was such a slick fight.
it was.
Floyd did just show in that fight though that you can't just expect to come out from MMA
Yeah,
when you
pretty
move
much.
completely differently.
To a
And
different sport.
yeah.
It just doesn't work, does it?
Not quite.
I wanted to put this one in next. I didn't like this fight.
That was the third fight, wasn't it?
Unfortunately, Conor McGregor snapped his leg.
Which we're yet to see him return from.
Yet to see his return from this.
And we're not gonna see him return
Let's be
at
real.
303.
That's why we made this video.
Because that news has probably come out by now.
Probably. We're either going to see him return or not.
Yeah.
Basically, at this point.
thanks.
So,
Yeah, that's great.
Conor McGregor breaking his leg. Dustin was winning the fight, but we saw some pretty decent moments before that guillotine pull.
The whole
From
thing
Conor.
looked a lot more careful than a normal Conor McGregor performance, in my opinion.
Throwing a lot of kicks.
You reckon he was boxing the head off of him, but
I'm like boxing the bleeding head off him.
Dustin
He was getting
definitely
hit.
took round one.
He did, yeah.
Um,
He was getting hit pretty bad.
and round two looked like it was going to go the same way. I reckon B. You want to put this in C?
Yeah, because it ended so horribly and shit. I just remember the feeling I had after this. I was like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like, that gave me nothing. Like,
Why won't you work?
basically, yeah. And I want to put this right at the very end. Like, I just don't like it when they end like this, you know?
Fair enough.
Do you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Let's go to the next one.
Conor McGregor against what's his name? So this
Starts
was
with B, doesn't it?
Brundage,
Brundage.
not Cody Brundage, is it? No. Fuck, what's his name? It does start with a B, and it's completely just skipping my brain here. His first fight in the UFC, he won it by knockout. Very crazy combo to finish this one off. This birthed the whole moment of Dana, 50 G's,
Marcus
baby.
Brimage,
Marcus Brimage.
who looked like a bit of a juice head.
He did. A bit of a nerd as well.
Um,
You seen him at weigh-ins? He has like a weird like eye thing that it's like a weird robot
sure.
head thing. Yeah.
But he just wasn't up to the same caliber of McGregor.
No.
It looked like they were just feeding a lion to a
Can.
cat.
Exactly.
Um,
Impressive performance nonetheless.
Extremely.
I want to put this at the end of B.
Didn't he land like 4 uppercuts in a row or something like that?
It was kind of like hook uppercut, hook uppercut, hook uppercut, hook straight. Like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
He sounded like McGregor in his kitchen.
you go with their left hand and the backhand. Yeah. That's what he says. Yeah, chuck it there.
Jab,
Next up,
slip, roll,
backhand,
uppercut.
roll. Then you keep moving. Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 1. Conor obviously getting this one done with a nice, clean, straight right to the back of the ear.
The back of the ear,
It's
and then
kinda
a
like-
couple shots to the back of the head on the ground. That was
Fucked him
nice.
up.
Um,
I mean, late A. Like,
late A.
this is a late A. Like, it was a very impressive. This was Max Aura Conor McGregor.
Yeah, and it was a good win at the time too. Like Dustin Poirier
DP was doing well.
was already quite like not as experienced as he is now, obviously, but he'd made a name for himself. He'd
Yeah.
shown that he was a tough cookie,
Tough guy.
and
Tough guy to beat.
Conor went in there and dealt with him.
Absolutely just knocked him out.
We have
Oh.
3 left, and we still need to knock these out. So
Conor McGregor versus Khabib. I hated it. But it was a big moment.
This was an awesome fight.
I'm willing to put it about there.
Yeah. The highest grossing UFC pay-per-view event of all time.
Most sales in UFC history.
So you can't argue with that. And I mean,
no, you can't.
Khabib getting it done the only way he knows how.
Submission.
Yeah. But also, this was one of the first times we'd seen Khabib get like really emotional. If not the first time.
Oh, he was crying all over the place.
I just mean like,
I know what you mean.
Conor got in his head, but it didn't work the same way it normally does.
No.
It made him angry.
You don't want to get in Khabib's head.
No.
Really. It kind of showed that. This guy's a monster. And he fucked him up. Conor did take one round debatably, but, he got dropped. He got taken down pretty much at will.
Yeah.
It was, looking back, though, at Khabib's career now, this was one of the better performances against Khabib throughout his whole career. He performed better than DP, performed better than Justin Gaethje.
You reckon Conor performed better than Dustin Gaethje?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Justin Gaethje.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, baby.
Let's move on.
Moving on, we've got Nate 1, the one where Nate Diaz took it from him.
Submitted him.
In
the third?
In the third. This has got to be probably in their S again.
Yeah.
Like, this was nuts, brother. Nuts. Brother. Conor just going to war with Nate, getting submitted. This was a shock. Great press conference moment, and this birthed the star of Nate Diaz.
Nate
Diaz.
Yeah. It did.
Really,
well, it helped. Like, he's always been the same guy, which I like.
But this showed us this is the man, brother.
Yeah. Should have said he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. And the very last one, the most infamous fight ever. Conor McGregor versus Joe Aldo. The fastest knockout in a title fight of all time ever, 16 seconds. The biggest moment, one of the biggest moments of all time in combat sports history.
I thought it was 13 seconds.
13 seconds, could be, you think you're right.
I think I'm right.
Top of A? I mean...
You reckon?
Where do you think?
This has got to go on S tier.
Okay, sure. Why
It
not?
has to. You've got a decision win over Nate in S tier. You've got what's the other one? Eddie Alvarez in S tier. And then you're putting Conor...
There was a bad take from me, okay? We'll move on.
This is the top of S tier, which is why it was saved till last.
Okay.
But we made this video due to the fact that this guy is...
Probably never going to fight again.
Probably not.
He's a drunk loser. He's not a loser. He's definitely not a loser. But he's drunk.
Definitely winning a lot more than we are right now.
Wait, we got 57 views on our last video.
if this guy started a YouTube channel...
He has got one.
Yeah, well...
Does he get 57 views?
I'd say so. Goodbye.